So Ramotl relates as follows: when Tzemach Tzedek was in Petersburg for the famous Asifas Rabbanim, the government called all the Rabbanim together, all the Jewish leaders, in an attempt to completely control Jewish education. The reality is, just raise this, yeah, safe as blocking. It lifts. It's on the here. Oh, okay, thank you. So the reality is that this was primarily instigated by the Maskilim in their attempt to liberate, there's a word for it, to enlighten Jewry. Not for now, but we told the story and never wanted this to be, and all these works were published. I'm just throwing this out there, Vatnish Dispol. The Maskilim, who began their whole avodah surreptitiously, disguised as from a Yidden, they want to bring diktok and language and ksivita. They got the Geshpanke from the Vilna Gaon. The whole Reform movement, the whole Haskalah, shouldn't say, is Lichtig and Gan Eden. They were duped into what they thought this was wonderful, and they wrote letters of Haskama. They became teachers and so on. They came to the Baal Shem Tov, started Baal Shem Tov already. And so the Alter Rebbe, they were rejected out of hand. So the whole thing, I can promise you, this is written out of their history books and distorted. I'm talking about our own, I'm talking about the Barrow Wine's history, and all of this is all deleted. But the truth is what it is, at any rate. So, just a story here. It's in the records. It's in the records of the Russian government. It's not there. Somebody wants to explore it. It's a false Welt, my friends. Extremely false. However, we're close to Mashiach, and it's getting cleaned up. The distortion, as you see, it angers me. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. The audacity to ignore and rewrite history. When the Tzemach Tzedek was in Petersburg, so for this famous meeting, he was arrested 22 times. It's a whole book on that whole critical part of our history. Had, God forbid, they got what they wanted, Russian Jewry would have assimilated. Gone. So at one point he was taken before the Tsar himself, the Tsar. So the Tsar asked him, again it's all instigated unfortunately by the Maskilim. So he's asking about Mila, circumcision. It's barbaric. And there was Sweden, recently barred it. I think it was overturned. Shchitas being, probably even Canada, discussion to outlaw Shchita. Miller, it's no different. So what's this business of mutilating your sons? Tzemach Tzedek said to him that the whole Russia, the whole great Russia, stands in the schus of the bris of one Yid. It's not Tzemach Tzedek answered the Tsar. He wasn't pleased to hear this. And so he started to, and the people listening to this, his ministers, and he starts to comb his hair like this. They knew that's a sign, take the guy and firing squad. So they escorted Tzemach Tzedek out, and such words to the Tsar, this is, what's the word? It's insurrection, better word. It's what? Treason. So, okay, they told him. I said, all right. He has one request. He wants to daven mincha. Can you have a last prayer? I said, okay, you can say a mincha prayer. So at that time, while he's davening mincha, Eliyahu, who knows? But one of the ministers, the Eibishter did this, obviously, says to the king, do you know who you just condemned to death? This is Rabbi Schneerson, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. He is the head of Russian Jewry, and one of the greatest rabbis in the world. He says, you're going to cause an uproar in Russia and the whole world. So the king listens to him and says, okay, he says, if they haven't yet killed him, then don't. And stop. But if they killed him, they killed him. Fine. So they went to see, because they gave him time to daven mincha, so he was davening for a long time. He used to daven bariches. And so he was in the middle of mincha, and he was spared. That night was the fifth night of Hanukkah. It's known that the fifth Lichtel is a we all know that Alter Rebbe was liberated on the fifth night of Hanukkah, and it's a unique night for Nissim. And that's when that story happened. Okay, friends.